Why is that important? Do they need to be saved just like in the same way as everybody else?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, if you think of the context of the book of Hosea, I mean, Hosea is prophesying to a people who have apostatized in their faith. So they were part of the covenant community, but they had completely lost all faith in the living God. And so from that perspective, they were not God's people, even though they were part of the covenant community. So yes, there were people who were part of the covenant, but this is significant because what this says is that salvation is not based on your ethnic identity. It doesn't matter whether or not you are Jewish by bloodline. I remember having a conversation with someone. I mean, they weren't Jewish; they were Portuguese, and they just kept talking about how they were Catholic. But I'm like, but you're an atheist. So, but he was just saying that, but it's this idea that he's Catholic by virtue of his Portuguese nationality. So this is getting at that idea that just because you're a part of the Jewish community doesn't make you a believer in the Messiah. What makes you a believer in the Messiah is faith, and that crosses ethnic boundaries.
That's very helpful. That's a helpful illustration, Tobias. Thank you. So Paul follows these two quotations from Hosea with two quotations from Isaiah. Paul, is this why Isaiah says that the people of Israel are like Sodom and Gomorrah? Is there really no place for religion or race in God's plan of salvation?
Well, it is brutal, isn't it, for Isaiah to say to people who are like, oh no, we're God's people. We're on, the potter's made us for great things. And then it turns out he gives us that quotation, Isaiah 1:9, but in the next verse, he say we'd be like Sodom and Gomorrah. In the next verse in Isaiah, he just says, you rulers of Sodom, you people of Gomorrah. He just says, you are Sodom and Gomorrah. And he'd also said, oh, you're just like a hut ruined in a field. And so he's really saying, Sodom and Gomorrah, they're utterly bad and totally destroyed by God. That's you. And so if he can say that to the people who were like, but we're the chosen ones, and he goes, well, no, you're not. Yeah. There's nothing that can prevent you ending up in the ruin of Sodom and Gomorrah under God's destruction, fire and brimstone. And as you are, you've got to turn to him, because in that chapter 1 of Isaiah, he's saying, look, return to